The strange and epic saga of mermaid strippers, disaster, salvation, gold, capsizing, fire, hiccups, mutiny, shipwreck, occult, prison, escape, and mermaid strippers again, by Peter Saul. Chapter the first, mermaid strippers. Always, when you enter a strip club, there is this drunk guy at the bar talking to you. I say talking, but really he is only shouting in your direction. Maybe he is shouting, dudes! Or maybe he shouts, arse! But actually, he is only lonely and wants to talk about what a screw-up he and his life is. This drunk in question stares at my own covered bosoms as I sit myself on a bar stool near him. This is distracting to him, these bosoms. He pauses, forgets his story, and BAM! I begin mine first. Because here I am, in ship-tipping Taiwan, in the first bar I saw after 4 months not speaking to no one. 4 months alone on an ice floe in the Chinese Sea. And all this time, not a single word to nobody. So I have earned this right to tell my story. The bar's name is Naughty Gal. The strippers on stage are mermaids. All waiters are Indonesian lobsters. Their work permits declare that they will be boiled alive if they insult any customers. My captured drunkard is a sailor. He speaks only Japanese and the Malay pirate language. I don't speak neither. So I gesture to a passing lobster. This lobster prepares a seaweed-colored cocktail juggling with claws. The topless bar girl is also a mermaid. She throws a triangular circuit board into the flagon. It smokes like a drowning dragon. It hisses like radio static. Briefly, the BBC World Service plays from the flagon. Then, K-pop. I down this drink. Bam! Oh, a jodido kick that I know will hit thrice as hard in the morning. I spit out the umbrella. The drink has worked. I start my story in fluent Japanese. Soreba, Montevideo, the Hashimata. In Montevideo, it began, I say. The drunkard listens. The bar girl leans in, curious. Chapter the second, disaster. In Montevideo, Uruguay, I studied plantology. My thesis was Venus elephant traps. Always, I studied only the theory, but it terrified all the same my mama. She feared whenever I left the house for any reason. Be careful, she would say to me. Have to go the jacket in case of rain, and your parasol to prevent sunstroke. Mobile phone, if you get lost, kidnap insurance certificate. Spare shoelaces. Mama, I am 20, and go only to the shops. But Penelopita, you are my only little girl, and the world is so very dangerous. You should be so sensible as your older brother. Oh. My older brother was a vago, an idler, a bum. He spent all of every day eating peanut butter ice cream on Mama's bestie, watching Samba wrestling, and growing fat. Samba wrestling is like cage fighting, but with more rhythm. It is our national sport. We go crazy for it. As did my vago brother, it emerged. Mama, do you mean that my lazy, fat, no-good, vago, ice-cream-eating slob of a brother has squandered every last peso of the family fortune gambling online on Samba wrestling? Dios mío! Oh, Penelopita, don't you be so very selfish. Your poor brother is distraught. We had to sell our wedding rings
and I to buy him enough peanut butter ice cream to cheer him up.
Peanut butter ice cream?
What about my tuition fees, caramba? Penelopita, be less selfish.
We will just marry you to a rich man.
Where are you going?
To my room.
Wait, shh. Your brother sleeps. And don't slam doors, you will get a splint. Crash. Chapter the 3rd. Salvation.
My only ally was great-grandpapa. By now the family had sold everything except for the ship of great-grandpapa. La Mentirosa. Wooden and leaky, nobody wanted her, not even our creditors. Mama sobbed and prayed, terrified. We fixed many fears of Mama by buying travel insurance, but it was not enough, this. Still she feared seafaring's dark, wicked path, that I would return debauched and wild, innocent no longer her little Penelopita. Great-grandpapa negotiated a compromise. Mama would let me go if I took appropriate, sensible precautions of her choosing.
Chapter the 4th. Gold.
After the family goldsmith had completed welding my chastity belt, great-grandpapa commissioned him to gild the Mentirosa figurehead with our ultimate secret reserves of gold. We painted brown over it. We would smuggle the gold far from home, where creditors couldn't touch it. Chapter the 5th.
Capsizing.
We set sail for Bombay with a cargo of rum and ice. Mama alone waved our goodbye. My bago brother was too fat to walk to the docks. As I ascended up the gangplank, Mama pressed cartones of dragon skin flakes into my hands, advising me to apply them often to tender areas and to avoid salt water washing. Fortunately for the nerves of Mama, we only started capsizing once out of sight.
Chapter the 6th. Fire.
The smuggling of great-grandpapa overbalanced the ship. Whenever the crew stepped toward the figurehead, she tipped downwards. This necessitated us remaining always at the rear of the craft to balance her. On a shade, half rations of water, we wilted. Water everywhere. 3 weeks in, the rum barrels exploded in the heat. The fire burned off the paint. The figurehead watched us, shimmering mockingly as eventually we defeated the flames. Chapter the 7th. Hiccups. Due to smoke inhalation, the first mate developed chronic hiccups. Within weeks, we'd all contracted it from him. Hiccuping every waking, sleeping moment, couldn't eat, not even drink. Keys, headstands, holding one's breath, everything failed in curing us. Half dead with dehydration, we slitted open a swordfish belly. Bloody guts wrapped around ourselves, ankles tied with rope, we leaped overboard. As sharks jumped for each victim, we pulled them up, and the shock and terror cured us one by one. Except for the navigator. The navigator's headless body lay slumped on the deck, still hiccuping. Exhausted, we all collapsed by its desperate for rest.
Chapter the 7th. Mutiny.
Immediately, there began a mutiny. Crew trapped by the figurehead, the rats invaded the foredeck. Since the fire, the captain of the ship's rats was enamored with our figurehead.
I adore her,
he declared, scurrying to where I lay, jabbing this sharpened claw to my throat.
You shall navigate this vessel towards the Netherlands, where statutes are liberalistic and nuptials between rodents
and figureheads are doubtlessly illicit. Or, if you decline, we shall bound en masse to her gilded curls, sending all to the depths, alongside my beloved.
We had not any options. We complied for 5 days. On day 6, we spotted a whale and closed surreptitiously. Bam! Snaring the beast with a harpoon cannon, we leaped to the rats with war cries, sailor knives glistening, dueling furiosa under the merciless sun. Capitan Rat tries to carry his threat, but cannot stay level against the counterbalancing whale. La Mentirosa stays level. Battle is fierce. Finally, mano a mano with my nemesis, bleeding from uncountable wounds, I back Capitan Rat against the neck of his beloved, raising my knife to deliver the ultimate blow. At this point, the commando rats finish gnawing the harpoon rope, freeing the whale. The ship catapults forward, flinging half its crew out. Slowly, she sinks, I clasping the figurehead. Above, Capitan Rat dances on her brow. His few remaining rats lower hastily the ship's one leaky lifeboat. Capitan Rat, torn between competing duties as a rat and as a capitan, decides to sink with La Mentirosa, not abandon her, but flanks this commitment at the ultimate moment, leaping from the figurehead with a cry of, "My love!" He gives an ultimate tragic before the sharks tear him in two. Closing my own eyes, I leap after. Chapter the 8th. Shipwreck. Nothing was eating me. I landed on cargo. An ice block. Every day the heat shrank it more and more. And every day the circling sharks' toothy grins got wider. For shade and sail, I used my clothes and rescued rum bottles as a mast. Naked, I lay there, my back freezing, my front scorching, death's fins all around, and the ice melting. Chapter the 9th. Cult. I arrived at a volcanic archipelago. Here, the water stank with sulfur, and the sharks promptly died. As all ice melted, I screamed with painful eyes, but found myself floating. Tasting the water, I retched at the bitter contents, but understood that this intense saltiness had killed the sharks. All around floated stricken fish who'd strayed into these deadly waters. Rainbow-colored cormorants swooped down, feasting. I waded through the ultimate stretch. There was, on the beach, a fire. Around danced men with tattooed teeth and bone-pierced noses. I approached, completely naked because salt had corroded away the chastity belt. They all fell devoutly before me. I am a goddess, I announced, dripping. I demand obedience, food, clothes, and a hot bath. Fortunately, some tribesmen had tourist Spanish. They explained that they prayed because they suffered hard times. Their tremendous casino industry had collapsed because luxury cruise ships now attended Macau instead. I sketched a stick woman in the sand. "This is me," I said. "Pray for salvation." My devotees kneeling, I initiated exploration. Hours later, I found my devotees still kneeling, sweeping with brooms the tide away from the stick woman. "Oi, you," I said, kicking anything one to get his attention. What's this? I held out a plant. He explained that it was useless to survival. Idiota, I said. This, oh my people, is a rubber plant and your salvation. In 6 months, I created the rubber manufacturing industry. Labor was free, wage help. I split profits 90-10 between myself and the elders, making sure they put some of theirs into the religious community, i.e., worshipping me. They built me a shrine on an ice floe coated in rubber against the salt. Ships queued to take our products. We made all things you can think of that are fabricated out of rubber. Erasers, balls, Wellingtons, balloons, tires, wetsuits, and other products. Every prototype was thoroughly tested by my island men before it was mass produced. Naturally, these testers included my 53 young male concubines. The casinos came back. Bars, strip clubs, hotels. All the money I made, I wired Mama and Papa. Life was idyllic. But finally, I booked a plane home. Chapter the 10th. Prison. I visited the faithful in my shrine only to find no one there. Oi! Idiotas! Where are you? Then I turned to the shore. Angry men waving spears. They lit fires, they beat drums, then they started chanting. 2, 4, 6, 8 goddess, don't leave us to our fate. You're not going, you're not going, you're not going home. 2, 4, 6, 8 goddess, don't leave us to our fate. Chapter the penultimate. Escape. Damnation, I thought, looking around the volcanic archipelago. How shall I ever escape? Suddenly, a tremendous eruption. The earth quaked, fireballs rained from the mountain, the rubber-coated chain was bent through, and my shrine on the ice floe drifted off, whilst the entire island population was wiped out. My people, I thought. My people, all of them dead. I opened my mouth wide. You're not singing, you're not singing, you're not singing anymore. You're not singing anymore. Chapter the last. Mermaid strippers again. The drink was starting to wear off. Static hissed from the empty flagon as the last post played. Arse! Shouted a Malay pirate. I outstayed my welcome. How much? I asked the lobster. 5 quid. 5 quid? That's outrageous. That's almost London prices. 5 quid is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. The pincer pointed to the bar. Argue with her, madam. The mermaid bar girl pulled the coat over her naked breasts, whistling for a dragon taxi. Forget it, love, she said. It's free. I'm not being funny, but you, girl, you made me reevaluate my entire life choices. I want to see the world now. Sod this. I'm off to join the French Foreign Legion. And in a whirl of flame and smoke, she was gone. 5 quid, I sniffed as I left. Absolute